Okay, so the first thing is we're going to explain in general terms what the data on enrollments in French show. So let's see, these are the years 95, 98. So the years are going up in threes, fours, 4 years later, 3 years later. The enrollment went down, it went back up again, it went a little bit up and then went more up. So I would say the enrollment is roughly constant. What would you think of that? I mean, I don't see a huge change really up or down. It's just, to me that's a roughly constant change. And if you kind of graph that, the graph would look pretty flat because you would have 100 here, 200 here, and you'd have your years down here, 95, 98 and stuff. And it would, the graph of this thing would be kind of like, just a little bit above 200, that's 205, around 298, and then 02 would be just a little bit above 200, and then in 06 it would be just a little bit more above, and then maybe just a little bit. Might say it's kind of creeping up in recent years, but to me that's kind of generally flat. But I mean, it kind of went down a bit, went up a bit, up a little bit. It's roughly constant or a flat graph, or you could say it's slightly going up recently. So yeah, something like that. Part B, we need for each period in the table calculate the average growth rate. Now I just messed up because I closed off my so I'm going to do part B like this. Whoops. Average growth rate. Average growth rate. The average growth rate of change per year in each period. Now this first period was 3 years from 95 to 98, and it changed by, if I go 199.1 and subtract, and you can see my calculator there, right? Subtract 205, 5.4, I get that number, negative 6.3. So it dropped by 6.3 thousand because it's measured in thousand students, right? But it was over a 3-year period. So divide that by 3, right? So what I'm doing is I'm taking negative 6.3, dividing it by 3, and I'm getting negative 2.1. A drop of an average growth rate of negative 2.1, which is basically a drop, average drop of 2,100 students per year in this period from 95 to 98. Does that make sense? That's all it is. It's pretty self-explanatory. So the next period, 98 to 2002, that was a 4-year period. The change went from 199.1 to 202,000 students. So I'm going to go 202. I'm going to subtract 199.1 to get 2.9. So that's an increase of 2,900 over 4 years, though. So the average increase is we divide that by 4 because it's a 4-year period. See that? It's 4 years. Right? So the average change per year in that 4-year period is, I take my 2.9 and I divide that by 4. Right? And I get 0.725. Right? 0.725. Which is, that's in thousands. So that's, an average increase of 725 students per year in this period from 98 to 2002. That make sense? That's what I was. Okay, cool. And so then we get next one. It's a 4-year period. It changed from here to here. So we go 206.4 subtract 202 to get 4.4. That's a change, an increase of 4,400 students from 2002 to 2006. But the average increase is, well, we got to divide by that 4-year period because it's an average increase of 1.1. or an increase of 1,100 students per year in this period. And then from here to here, that's 3 years from 06 to 09. And from here to here is, let's see, 216 point, put this over here, sorry, 216.4 minus 206.4 is 10. 10, and 10 divided by 3 is 3.333. So I'm just going to round that to 3.33 approximately. So it's an average increase of, 3,000, well, we'll do that, 3,333 students per year over this 3-year period. Make sense? So that's the part B, the average growth rates. A little time consuming working all that out. That's part B. And part C, finally to your question, make a bar graph displaying the average growth rate per year in enrollments in French. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just have the growth rates there, but the years. So I'm going to do this. So it's oh, look at that, negative 2.1, and just do something like this. So something like this, but the first one is negative 2.1, and this is in thousands. So I could do, so this is an increase of 1,000 students per year. That's an increase of 2,000. That's an increase of 3,000. That's an increase of 4,000 per year. This is a decrease of 1,000, so this would be 0. This is a decrease of 2,000. This is a decrease of 3,000. So what I'm going to do is represent the negative 2.1, or the drop of 2,100, like this. So it's going to be a bar graph that goes just below the negative 2,000 line, like that. See that? And this will be for the year 95 to 98, right? And then the next one is an increase of 725, and that's just going to kind of look like that. And that's for the year 98 to 02. And then we have 02 to 06, an increase of 1.1. So that's a little over 1,000, kind of looking like that, right? Kind of looking like that, right? So 02 to 06 looks like that. And then we got an increase of 3,300. Kind of looks like that, right? And that's from 06 to 09. Yep, so there we have it. That's all. Just to represent that. And yes, the negative is represented by you can represent that with a bar that goes down into the negative. So this is the years, and this is the vertical axis is our average growth rate of, student enrollment each year. All right. Well, thank you for your patience. I appreciate it.